Dear brothers and sisters, I'd like to wish everyone a very happy Father's Day, a day in which we honor our fathers and we are grateful for all that they have given us. This day is special not only for fathers, but also for grandfathers and great-grandfathers. And some of us might be lucky now to have great-great-great-grandfathers. A day to honor those who brought us into this world. A day to honor those who helped us learn. When we were a child, our fathers helped us to walk, to talk, and to take care of many, many things that are needed by us as we are growing. It's not only the mothers who get up in the middle of the night when a baby cries, it's also the fathers who help us at those odd hours. And this is the day on which we honor them, in which we are grateful to them, a day which brings joy to each and every one of us as we spend more time with our fathers. To be able to be grateful, we need to have the trait of humility in our being. Otherwise, ego gets the better of us. We start to think that what we have today is achieved because of ourselves. We feel that it's our hard work which got us where we are. And we forget how much help is given to us by our fathers. And there are some people who are not grateful to their fathers. And I like to relate a very interesting story which brings that out very, very truly. There was a small family. There was a father and a mother and a young boy who used to live in their own home. They were not very wealthy, but they had enough to survive. And so their life was going on. The man of the house also had a father who was living by himself in another place. His mother had passed a few years ago, and the father was taking care of himself in his own place. But as time went by, the father was getting weaker, and so the husband and wife talked between themselves and they decided that we should get the father into our house. So they took one of the bedrooms, cleaned it up, put a bed in there, made it comfortable, and they went and brought their father with other belongings to their home. So when the father came to the house, everyone was very happy, especially the grandson. And their life was going on very, very nicely. The husband and wife would work all day. They would come back in the evening. They would all have dinner together and things were going very well. Over time, the father started to get weaker. His eyesight started to deteriorate, so he had a difficult time seeing things. His hearing went bad. And so in a conversation, he could not hear properly, so his responses were getting to be different. And so as he was with his family, and they were at the dinner table, the parents realized that the father was unable to keep a conversation. And then with time what happened is that the father started to have a shaking in his hand. So when he had a shaking in his hand, he had a tough time eating. So when he would take the food in a spoon and try to put it in his mouth, sometimes the food would fall on the tablecloth, sometimes it would fall on his clothes, sometimes it would fall on the floor. So the parents would clean up very quickly. But as time went by, the parents realized that it was becoming very, very difficult for them to be peaceful as they had their meal. And so both husband and wife decided that maybe we should get a smaller table for our dad and put the table in the corner of the dining room and let him eat there, because if he is eating and some food falls on the floor or on his body or on his clothes or on the tablecloth, that they could clean up after they've eaten the meals. So they got this table, they had the father sit at the table. But the father, as he sat there, would feel very sad. He would feel to be alone. And sometimes when he would be eating the food and his hand was shaking, tears would come to his eyes because he realized that he was unable to keep the food in the spoon. There would fall. And he felt bad that he could not stabilize the spoon to get the food in his mouth. And so one day, as the father was having some soup in a glass bowl, as he's picking up the ball and he's trying to get the ball closer to his mouth so he could put the soup in his mouth and not have the soup fall all over the place. All of a sudden, because his hands were shaking, the ball fell down and it broke into many, many pieces. The husband and wife got very irate and said things which were not very calming and peaceful. So the next day, they go to a store and they get a wooden ball. And they give a wooden ball to their father, thinking that, if this ball falls down, it's not going to break. And so as this is going on, the father now is eating in the wooden bowl. And his meals are coming there because the other plates and all are taken away because they're worried that these will break. And so one day, as this married couple came back home, the man of the house saw that his son was working with something. So he asked him, "What are you doing?" And the son said, "I'm working on a project." So the man asked his son, he said, "What project are you working on?" And he said, "You see these two blocks of wood? I am making two balls out of it to give them to you as a present." And so the man asked him, "Why are you making balls for us?" And the boy said, "Dad, when you get old and you move into my house, I want to be sure that I have a wooden bowl ready for you so that you're not breaking any more crockery in my house. It was then that the couple realized how they had been behaving with their father. And so from next day, they made sure they had their father at their own table. In life, when we do something, it comes back to us. The law of karma says for every thought, word and deed, we are held accountable. And so, whatever we think, whatever we speak, whatever we act and do, there are repercussions. And this couple realized that the way they were behaving with their father was what their son picked up. Because children behave as they see their parents behave. So if we want our children to be well, if we want our children to be noble, if we want our children to act in a manner in which there'll be calm and peacefulness in a house, then we need to act like that too. The young boy saw his parents behave in a manner which did not seem appropriate to him. And so he also thought that that was the way of living. And he wanted to give them some kind of a message that what they were doing was not correct. And so, as we pass through life, we need to realize that we need to be grateful not only to our physical father, not only to our physical grandfather or our great-grandfather, but we need to be grateful to the one who created everything, to our spiritual father, to God. How many times do we think about God? How many times do we think like it's God's grace as to where we are? Most people think about God when they are in trouble. Most people think about God when they need something. If one is not married, then they pray to God to be married. If they're married and don't have children, then they pray to God to have children. If they have an exam coming, then they pray to do well in the exam. If the sports team is playing a match, they pray to God for their team to win. We're always asking things of God. We always are looking for some kind of a physical gain from ourselves, from God. How many times are we grateful to God? How many times do we say to God, oh God, this is your grace that I'm alive today. Oh God, it's your grace that I have a job. God, it's your grace that I can put food on the table for my family. Oh God, it is your grace that my life is going on well. Very rarely do we think about God when we feel things are going on well for us. So on this Father's Day, let us remember who really sent us here. Our soul could have been transmigrating in any one of the species. God poured tons of grace on us and gave us this human body. Because it is only in the human body that we have all the faculties that are required by us to know ourselves truly and to know God. So God has given us this opportunity to truly know who we are, to learn about God, to know about God, to experience the love of God, and to be in a state where not only do we experience the love of God, we also start to realize that everyone around us is also a member of the same family of God. So the love goes from us to everyone else too. So that experience is coming in this human frame. And we need to be grateful for that. We need to be grateful to God that while having this human body, is God's grace that we start to be pulled towards God. There's a saying that love emanates in the heart of the beloved. So it's God who's pulling our love strings. It's God who wants us to love God. We think we're loving God, but it's God who wants us to love God and puts a spark of love in our being, and then we start to love God. And as we love God, then we start to go on a journey to explore God. And the journey to explore God is meditation. Sitting in silence, taking our attention away from all the attractions and distractions of the world outside. Because it's only in silence that the reality can be unfolded for us. And so as we sit in silence, as we close our eyes, as we withdraw our attention from the world outside, as we collect our sensory currents here at the seat of the soul, then with help and guidance and God's grace, we are able to be uplifted into regions of light and regions of beauty, regions of consciousness, regions of joy and happiness and bliss like we've never experienced before. Because God is the one who connects us with the true primal manifestations of God, that being the divine light and the divine sound of God. So let us be grateful to the Creator to have given us that connection so that we can experience God irrespective of where we are, irrespective of what time of the day it is, irrespective of anything else that we're doing when we sit in silence. And as we experience God more and more and more, our love for God expands. And as the love for God expands, then love in our being for everyone else around also expands. And it is then that we start to experience the realities of this creation. We start to see God in each and every other living form. And as we experience God all around us, then life is joyous, life is happy, and life is blissful. Because wherever there's God, there's no difficulties. Because when we find the presence of God with us, then everything else becomes right for us. So on this Father's Day, let us not only honor our physical fathers and our grandfathers and our great-grandfathers, let us also honor and be grateful to God the Creator. Because if it wasn't God's will, we would never be in the human body. Let us focus our attention on God. Let us try to know God better and better. And this all happens as we meditate, as we sit in silence. So let us sit in meditation for a few minutes. Please sit comfortably wherever you are. Close your eyes very gently as you close them when you go to sleep. Your eyeball should be straight, focused 8 or 10 inches in front of you. And as you close your eyes, those of you who have been initiated in the mysteries of the beyond, please do a Simran And those of you who are new here, please repeat any name of God that you feel comfortable with. Just keep your gaze right in front of you. With time, light will sprout forth. It could be flashes of light, circles of lights. Lights would be of various colors. So you keep your attention right in the middle of the experience, and with time, many other vistas will open up for you. I pray to God Almighty and to the three great spiritual masters of the past century, Hazur Baba Sawan Singh Ji Maharaj, Param Sant Kripal Singh Ji Maharaj, and the gracious spiritual master Sant Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj, to help each and every one of us connect with the divine power within and to experience the divine light in its effulgence. We'll be sitting for a few minutes. I'll be getting you out of this meditative state at that time, and my best wishes are with each and every one of you. Please leave off. Chhod dijiye ji. And once again, a very, very happy Father's Day to all of you who are gathered all around the globe.